Welcome, beautiful soul. Tonight, you're not here by accident. Maybe you felt a gentle tug to click this video, or perhaps it was a persistent curiosity you couldn't ignore, a sense that your soul is seeking something deeper. And if you've ever wondered, why do I feel different? Is there a bigger reason I'm here? My friend, you're exactly where you need to be. Throughout history, every culture has whispered of the chosen ones. Not chosen for fame or fortune, but for profound purpose. They are the ones who awaken when the world most needs them, who secretly carry the medicine of change, who quietly alter the course of families, communities, even destinies. And yes, sometimes that chosen feeling looks nothing like what you'd expect. Sometimes it's ordinary, painful, lonely, or confusing. But always, it asks this powerful question: will you answer the call? Tonight, I invite you to embark on a journey that honors your wisdom, your decades of living, and your appetite for real, lasting transformation. This is not about believing in fairy tales. It's about remembering your true nature. The 9 different types of chosen ones are real, and each comes with a divine purpose. So, before we continue, take a deep, mindful breath. Roll your shoulders back. Allow yourself to be here, not just as a listener, but as a seeker. If you feel that inner spark, the sense that this is meant for me, prove it to yourself by typing 111 in the comments. Let the cosmos and this community know that your awakening is underway. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us on a revelation that may just shift the very rhythm of your journey. Are you ready to meet each type, and perhaps meet yourself in the process? The foundation why chosen matters. Many of us spend the first half of life chasing approval, security, titles, or stability. We're parents, caretakers, providers, survivors. But something fascinating happens as we grow wiser, and yes, as we grow older. We realize fulfillment cannot be bought, and neither can sacred purpose. If you're here, you carry decades of stories, regrets, resilience, and small victories. Maybe you've risen from heartbreak or breakdowns. Maybe you've become a mentor, a grandparent, or an unrecognized leader in your circle. These are not random experiences. They are the fire that tempers your spirit for the work you're meant to do now. You are not behind. You are right on time. History tells us that the most transformative chosen ones often awaken later in life. Moses did not lead until he'd lived half a life of exile. The Buddha was well into adulthood when he sat beneath the Bodhi tree. The wisdom you carry is not baggage. It's seasoning. And your pain is not wasted. It's the very compass for your purpose. So let's honor that. Every lesson, every scar has prepared you for a mission greater than you think. The myth of superiority, what it really means to be chosen. Before we unlock the 9 types, it's crucial we shatter this myth. Chosen does not mean superior. It means entrusted. Entrusted to protect, to guide, to shine light in the world's shadows, to heal wounds that run through generations. And, perhaps hardest of all, to live authentically when it's far easier to just fit in. Most chosen ones don't feel special. In fact, feeling invisible, misunderstood, or strange is the hallmark of an unrecognized purpose. You are not called to be more important than others. You are called to be more yourself than you have ever dared to be. As I introduce each type, listen. Let your intuition highlight clues from your lived experience. If you discover yourself in one of these types, or perhaps more than one, celebrate it. For in that recognition, you take one step closer to alignment. If you hear the unmistakable sound of truth, type 777 in the comments. Each 777 is the sound of another soul waking up, another light kindled in this vast tapestry of transformation. The 9 sacred archetypes. So what are these 9 doorways to purpose? 1. The oracle, the seer. 2. The free spirit, the pathbreaker. 3. The truth teller, the voice of integrity. 4. The inspiring infiltrator, the subtle torchbearer. 5. The confused chosen, the awakening wanderer. 6. The hermit, the guardian of silence. 7. The warrior, the defender of the light. 8. The healer, bridge to wholeness. 9. The elder, the timeless beacon. Each type brings different medicine, none greater, none lesser. Whether you're a grandmother who listens and lifts hearts, a teacher who changes lives with quiet words, or someone whose battles are invisible but whose courage is eternal, you belong here. Let's step into the first type and see what wisdom awaits. 1. The oracle, the seer. Perhaps your dreams have always felt more like movies than mere memories. Perhaps you've had intuitive flashes, an unshakable knowing about a loved one's pain, premonitions that you tried to laugh off, or you sense energy shifts when you step into a room. Joy, heaviness, hope, even before a word is spoken. You might be the oracle, the first type of chosen one. Throughout history, seers, shamans, wise women, and prophets sat at the margins and the centers of culture. Fabled oracles were sought by warriors and kings before every great victory or turning point, not because they could control destiny, but because they could sense what was hidden, see beneath the surface, and become conduits for truth that's bigger than themselves. In modern life, oracles rarely identify themselves so dramatically. Chances are you do practical things, raise kids, build businesses, care for aging parents, and yet there's always this extra channel broadcasting somewhere in your mind. Characteristics of the oracle: asterisk, intensely vivid dreams, sometimes prophetic, sometimes symbolic. Asterisk, deep empathy. You just know what others feel or what's coming. Asterisk, occasional sense of loneliness or being misunderstood. Few truly understand your inner world. Asterisk, attraction to mystery, symbols, and patterns, whether in nature, history, or people. Asterisk, sensitive to atmospheres, moods, even weather changes. Asterisk, you may be drawn to tools like tarot, runes, meditation, not for escape, but as language for your intuition. Asterisk, sometimes struggle with boundaries, absorbing others' pain as your own. The divine purpose. Oracles are not here to impress with magic. You are here to witness truth, speak it kindly, and help others prepare for what lies ahead. You may not always be listened to. History shows that oracles are often doubted or even ridiculed, but your true gift is to shine light in the uncertainties. You are a living bridge between the seen and unseen, the logical and the spiritual, the past and the possible future. Families, companies, communities need your foresight more than ever, for healing, for navigating change, and sometimes simply for hope. But beware, your sensitivity is sacred, but it's also vulnerable. Protect it. Learn grounding rituals. Walk in nature, meditate, journal, or simply rest in quiet. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Action steps for the oracle. Asterisk, honor your intuition. If something feels off, investigate it compassionately. Asterisk, set healthy boundaries to prevent emotional overwhelm. Asterisk, build daily quiet time for reflection. Dream journaling, meditation, or simply deep listening. Asterisk, offer your insights with humility. Give advice only when asked, and trust others to choose their paths. Asterisk, if you've helped by foreseeing danger or blessing someone's path, even in small ways, leave a 222 in the comments. Let fellow oracles connect. The world needs more oracles living openly, not cloaked in secrecy. It starts when you honor your gift as real and protect it as precious. Think you're an oracle? Or perhaps you know someone who is. Share your story or synchronicity in the comments. Every tale helps another oracle find home. 2. The free spirit, the pathbreaker. Have you ever looked at the world and thought, why do we keep doing things the same way? Or perhaps you've always resisted fitting into the boxes others made for you. Family traditions you couldn't mold yourself into, careers that just didn't sit right with your soul, expectations that felt like heavy clothes someone else picked out. You, my friend, might be the free spirit, the second chosen one archetype. Rooted in every era are those who simply cannot conform, who have to break the mold to honor their own rhythm. These are the visionaries who don't rebel for rebellion's sake, but because their spirits know there is more to life than what's already been written. Chosen to walk an uncharted path, free spirits often look around and wonder why no one else seems to question the status quo. Sometimes your journey sets you apart. Sometimes it makes you a black sheep. But never doubt, your courage is planting seeds, often in places you may never see with your physical eyes. Signs you are a free spirit. Asterisk, you feel an irresistible need for independence, even if it costs you familiarity or predictability. Asterisk, tradition alone doesn't convince you. You interrogate the way things have always been. Asterisk, you're the friend, partner, parent, or grandparent who gently introduces new ideas, new music, or new ways of doing things, sometimes met with raised eyebrows. Asterisk, authority that's unearned or oppressive makes you uncomfortable. Your integrity matters more than anyone's approval. Asterisk, at different times in life, you may have started over, moved places, or reinvented yourself, sometimes more than once. Asterisk, deep down, you crave freedom not just for yourself, but for everyone you love. Perhaps you carry the memory of being asked, why can't you just be like everyone else? Or maybe you've struggled with guilt about not following the path laid out for you. Or, at this stage in life, you look back and see a winding trail where others' lives seemed like straight roads. And yet, you also see sunsets most people miss. The divine purpose. Free spirits are not here to cause chaos. You are here to reveal that life is bigger, richer, wider than most people dare to imagine. You are the evidence that there are always new ways to grow, heal, and love. Your no to tradition is a yes to possibility, for you, and for those quietly watching you from the edges of their own courage. You may not always feel heroic. Sometimes your choices have brought loneliness or misunderstanding. You may even have doubted your own wisdom, especially during the hardest turns. But if you look closely, you'll see the lives you've touched, your children, friends, co-workers, even strangers, finding their own freedom by watching yours. Action steps for the free spirit. Asterisk, build small rituals that allow for self-expression and play, even in everyday life. A weekly walk somewhere new, a journal for spontaneous ideas, a simple change in routine. Asterisk, practice forgiving yourself for not fitting the mold. You weren't made for the mold. Asterisk, trust the wisdom of your restlessness. It isn't always escapism. Sometimes it's the best inner compass you've got. Asterisk, stay inspired. Read widely, travel when you can, even if it's to a neighboring town or through books and art. Asterisk, help others challenge their own limiting beliefs. Not by force, but by living your truth so openly they feel safer to question their own constraints. If you've ever inspired someone to dream bigger, to move towns, to try something new even in a small way, or if you've simply refused to give up your core desires despite the pressure, drop a 333 in the comments. Our free spirit community is stronger when voices unite. Reflection. And if you're listening as someone who's lived by the book, and now suddenly feels the urge for change, it's never too late for adventure. The Pathbreaker archetype isn't about youth, but about the courage to reclaim your own rhythm at any age. If you're on your first road trip at 40, changing careers at 52, or rediscovering art in retirement, you too are living proof. Your soul does not expire. So what does your freedom look like? A dance class? A new business? A vow to start saying yes to your inner truth? Share your wildest, most honest freedoms below. It just might encourage another soul to bust out of their own box. Ready to meet the next type of chosen one? The truth teller is perhaps the most courageous of all. Stay with me as we step into the living power of honesty, even when the world resists it. 3. The truth teller, the voice of integrity. Sometimes the greatest act of courage is not battle, but truth. Maybe you've always found yourself compelled to speak up, even when your voice trembled or your honesty cost you friendships and comfort. Maybe you sensed deception or superficiality in a room, and your spirit simply cannot abide it. If you are the kind of person who lays it all bare, even when silence would be easier, you may be the truth teller, the third archetype of the chosen. Down the corridors of time, societies have needed their wise ones, prophets, whistleblowers, and clear-speaking friends, not only to illuminate what's right, but to dispel illusion, to keep communities, families, and souls honest. Truth tellers do not relish conflict for its own sake. They shoulder the task because it's the only road that leads to real healing. Signs you are a truth teller. Asterisk, you feel uncomfortable with lies, big or small. It's not a matter of principle, it's a matter of personal integrity. Something in you recoils at dishonesty. Asterisk, you're often the one friends and family come to for the real story, because they know you won't sugarcoat painful truths. Asterisk, you might have been called blunt, too honest, or intense, but the ones who need truth most keep seeking you out. Asterisk, when you sense injustice, at work, in society, or within your own household, your spirit stirs. The cost of silence becomes too high. Asterisk, you've sometimes been met with resistance, misunderstanding, or even isolation because you refuse to play along with pretense. Asterisk, at heart, you believe that truth, though sometimes uncomfortable, is the only soil in which genuine transformation can grow. Asterisk, the divine purpose. Truth tellers are here to anchor reality within their circles, no matter how small or vast. They are not here to judge or to scold, but to illuminate. With your presence, rooms become more transparent, families less twisted up in old patterns, workplaces a little fairer, and leaders a little more accountable. You challenge comfortable but corrosive secrets, helping others confront what's truly happening so that real freedom, healing, and reconciliation are possible. Like a lighthouse in a storm, your light does not chase approval. Simply stands, unwavering, reliable, no matter how rough the waters. But it isn't easy. Yours is often a lonely road. You face resentment, projection, sometimes even hostility because illusions, especially old ones, cling tightly. Know this. Although your honesty may provoke at first, there are always those, including future generations, who will give thanks for your clarity. Action steps for the truth teller. Asterisk, practice self-compassion. Not everyone welcomes truth right away. That's not your failure. Asterisk, speak from love, not only rightness. Truth offered with compassion is a medicine that heals. Truth with judgment may only wound. Asterisk, pick your moments. Not every hill is worth dying on. Wisdom includes knowing when to wait and when to speak. Asterisk, journal your truths. Sometimes the world isn't ready, but your soul benefits when you release illusions, even privately. Asterisk, find community. Other truth tellers and kindred souls bring relief, laughter, and perspective. Asterisk, teach by example. Show that living truthfully leads to self-respect, even when the world misunderstands you. If you've ever changed the direction of a conversation, exposed a family secret, or simply refused to hide your beliefs, type for 44 in the comments. Let this be both commemoration and connection. A silent nod to every soul doing the hard, beautiful work of keeping the world honest. Reflection. Many truth tellers only find peace later in life. After decades of being the uncomfortable guest at the table, the question asker, the pattern breaker. Yet history is clear. Every honest revolution, every healed family, every soul finally set free began with a truth bravely spoken. If today you feel tired from speaking up or afraid that your honesty caused division, know this. Your light is a gift. When you speak with wisdom and empathy, you set others free to stop lying to themselves. What truths are you carrying? Which truths are finally ready to be set free? Share a story or a lesson in the comments. Your healing, your courage, just might be the match that lights someone else's path. Next, we turn to a more subtle but no less powerful force, the inspiring infiltrator. Sometimes the call is not to shout truth from the rooftops, but to gently ignite hope from within the heart of the mainstream. Ready to discover this unique path? Stay with me for the inspiring infiltrator, the subtle torchbearer. Sometimes, the most powerful spiritual catalysts are not the ones shouting from mountaintops, but the ones who slip their wisdom gently into the stream of everyday life. Have you ever found yourself changing the energy of a room, inspiring others just by being fully you? Perhaps you infuse your work, art, or relationships with hope, encouragement, or hidden messages, uplifting those around you in ways they don't always see. If this sounds familiar, you may be the inspiring infiltrator, the fourth chosen one archetype. Unlike the obvious rebels or prophets, the inspiring infiltrator operates with subtlety, patience, and great creativity. Throughout history, society has been quietly transformed by those who blend in, but shine out. Leaders who bring light to the center of old systems, artists who stir hearts with hidden truths, mentors who guide generations without ever seeking the spotlight. Maybe you're the person everyone turns to, not because you're loud, but because your presence inspires hope. You may use beauty or wit as your tool, or simply embrace kindness and generosity as your cause. Signs you are an inspiring infiltrator. Asterisk, you feel at home in the in-between spaces, able to walk in many worlds and speak to many types of people. Asterisk, you shine most when inspiring others, not with overt preaching, but by weaving wisdom into your daily interactions, at work, at home, or in community spaces. Asterisk, you have a gift for encouragement. People leave your company feeling uplifted, understood, or more motivated. Asterisk, you might be an artist, musician, teacher, business leader, or caretaker. Whatever the role, you find ways to plant seeds of hope, vision, or deeper meaning. Asterisk, your approach is gentle but persistent. You resonate with the idea of planting seeds for others to nurture in their own time. Asterisk, sometimes your impact is only noticed after the fact, or you hear much later about how much you changed someone's life. The divine purpose. The inspiring infiltrator brings soul to the ordinary, leading quiet revolutions of heart behind the scenes. This path is about transformation from within. Instead of breaking down the walls, you paint them with new colors until the room itself radiates possibility. History is filled with these gentle giants, musicians who moved millions with compassionate lyrics, teachers who awakened a generation to its potential, elders who changed family destinies through persistent love and subtle teaching. Theirs is not always the role that gets ceremonies or awards, but their influence ripples out endlessly. Your divine role is to keep shining, keep planting, and keep trusting that your vibrations matter. Sometimes the seeds you plant today flower decades later, changing someone else's world in ways you'll never fully see. Action steps for the inspiring infiltrator. Asterisk, find your medium. Music, art, teaching, leading, or any daily activity where you can express subtle, positive intention. Asterisk, give yourself permission to be both seen and unseen. Some of your greatest work will grow quietly, like trees in a distant forest. Asterisk, embrace collaboration. You're especially powerful when working in groups, teams, or family circles. Asterisk, encourage yourself as much as you encourage others. Don't neglect your own spiritual growth in the act of inspiring those around you. Asterisk, if you've ever helped another rediscover purpose, lit up a room with your authentic energy, or found creative ways to insert positive change into your world, type 555 in the comments. Join hands with fellow inspiring infiltrators. Together, small voices make a mighty chorus. Reflection. Sometimes the world labels subtlety as weakness. Yet every great cultural movement began with one quiet voice, one story, one song. If you've questioned whether your gentle touch or creative spark is enough, remember, destinies are shaped less by force and more by inspiration. Allow yourself to be both a part of the world and the reason the world is a little brighter today. Have you ever changed someone's perspective with a gesture, a story, a lesson? What's one way you quietly ignite hope? Share your story. Your ripples might become someone else's wave. Our next archetype offers space for all who feel the call of destiny, yet haven't found clarity. You are not lost. You are only awakening. Up next, the confused chosen, the wandering seeker. Keep walking this luminous path with me. 5. The confused chosen, the awakening wanderer. Have you ever felt an undeniable sense that you're here for something greater, but struggle to know just what that is? Do you sometimes feel like you're living in two worlds, one foot in an old, familiar life, and the other in a space of possibilities you can't quite name? If so, you might recognize yourself as the confused chosen, the wandering seeker. This is not a failure. In fact, it's a sacred phase, a rite of passage many must cross before truly embodying their calling. There are times in every awakening when the universe feels both close and impossibly far, the signs clear and yet obscured, like messages in a dream you can't quite remember. Signs you are the confused chosen. Asterisk, deep resonance with spiritual themes, but no clear sense of what next. Asterisk, you hunger for meaning and truth, but feel pulled by daily routines, work, or relationships that don't quite fit anymore. Asterisk flashes of inspiration come and go. You might start new projects, but struggle to finish or feel paralyzed by infinite possibilities. Asterisk you sense a growing disconnect from ordinary conversations and interests, yet can't always express what's changing inside you. Asterisk sometimes you're awake at night, haunted by the big questions. Why am I here? When will I truly step into my path? Asterisk you may look back at moments when you felt truly alive, only to wonder why you can't stay in that magic all the time. The divine purpose. Being in spiritual transition is not an error. It's a sign that you're deeply awake and aware. The confusion, frustration, and longing you feel are birth pains of a new way of being. The wandering seeker is a gatherer of wisdom, moving through periods of questioning, not knowing, and holy discontent. If life feels like a maze, trust that you are still moving forward. With each turn and each question, you gather tools, stories, and scars that become the foundation for the next chapter of your purpose. The greatest souls have wandered, even the ones who, in hindsight, seem strongest. Action steps for the confused chosen. Asterisk allow yourself to not have all the answers. Sometimes, clarity comes only after a period of confusion. Asterisk builds small anchors. Daily rituals, quiet moments, walks, or time in nature that let you hear your own soul beneath the noise of the world. Asterisk journal your questions, not just your certainties. Sometimes the process itself reveals the path you seek. Asterisk seek mentors or spiritual companions. You're not meant to walk alone, and wise ones can help reflect your gifts back to you. Asterisk embrace imperfection. Starting something, taking a risk, or changing direction is part of the journey. Asterisk if you felt like you're standing at a crossroads. Unsure, hopeful, a bit lost, type 666 in the comments. This is not a code of fear, but a symbol of transformation and the courage to wander. Reflection. To every confused chosen, your uncertainty is a sign of your openness, not your weakness. You have not missed your chance. Every spiritual journey is marked by seasons of fog. In time, clarity will emerge, and your wandering will weave itself into a path only you could walk. Think back. What's one moment, however small, when your wandering brought you wisdom, healing, or a new friend? Share below. You might discover that your journey, just as it is a lantern for another. Next, we'll discover a path of peace and inner solitude, not confusion. If you've ever longed for quiet, for communion with nature, for a break from the world's noise, you may sense yourself in the 6th archetype, the Hermit, the guardian of silence and self-discovery. Stay present as we continue deeper on this journey. 6. The Hermit, the guardian of silence. In a world that seems to prize constant connection, busy schedules, and endless noise, what does it mean to cherish silence? Have you ever felt most alive when quietly alone? Listening to birdsong, reflecting by candlelight, or simply being still as the world rushes by? You may be the Hermit, the 6th chosen one archetype. The Hermit is not about running from life, but about returning to the wellspring of the soul. In every tradition, the most respected elders were those who could retreat from the world, not to escape but to deepen. Their wisdom blossomed in the quiet hours others feared. Their medicine is peace, clarity, and inner resilience. If solitude is your sanctuary, know that there is sacred purpose in your love of quiet. Signs you are a hermit. Asterisk you seek and need regular time alone, whether to meditate, read, write, or simply reset. Asterisk crowds or small talk can drain you. One deep conversation is worth more than 100 distractions. Asterisk you find your energy is restored by nature, prayer, or creative solitude. Asterisk you may gravitate towards spiritual practices, meditation, contemplative walks, music, or gardening. Asterisk others may have misunderstood your need for space, assuming you are aloof or withdrawn, when in fact you are simply refilling your cup. Asterisk during times of challenge, you seek healing in retreat, not in reaction. The divine purpose. Hermits serve humanity by being the keepers of spiritual depth. In a world burning itself out with busyness and noise, you model what it means to befriend yourself. You help others remember that wisdom is born in stillness, and peace begins within. You do not merely replenish your own spirit. You radiate calm, healing, and perspective to everyone you touch. The power you gather in solitude quietly spreads to your family, workplace, and community. Most of all, you show that stepping back is never weakness. Instead, it's the prelude to renewal and wise action. And in this era of constant doing, your choice to simply be is not just radical, it's absolutely necessary. Action steps for the Hermit. Asterisk, honor your need for time alone and communicate it lovingly to others. Asterisk, create gentle, daily rituals. Tea at sunrise, an evening walk, a short meditation, or a purposeful silence before sleep. Asterisk, share your wisdom. Write, teach, or quietly mentor others who seek depth, especially those craving a break from surface living. Asterisk, practice mindful presence. Let your solitude be full, not empty. Asterisk, invite loved ones into moments of stillness with you. Teach them that silence can nurture, not threaten. Asterisk, if you find deep joy, peace, or insight in solitude, type 888 in the comments. Let it be a welcome flag to other hermits in our midst. Reflection. No lighthouse shines with endless noise. No mountain welcomes footprints without quiet. If the world has ever made you apologize for needing solitude, remember, great revelations happen in the silence between words, in the gentle pauses of life itself. What's the most beautiful moment of stillness you've ever known? Share your story. The memory you offer may inspire another to finally honor their own call to quiet. From stillness springs courage. Next, we explore a radically different energy, dynamic, unstoppable, call to battle for truth and freedom. Do you defend what is sacred, challenge the darkness in bold ways, or use your strength to uplift others? Then you may resonate with the warrior, the defender of the light. Stay with me as we enter the realm of courage and conviction. 7. The warrior, the defender of the light. Not every battle is fought with swords. Some take place quietly. In offices, kitchens, communities, at hospice bedsides, or in the boardrooms where hard truths are spoken. Some are public, others are silent wars for justice and dignity. If you feel a deep, unshakable drive to stand up for what is right, to defend those who cannot defend themselves, to push back against injustice, even when afraid or exhausted, you may be the warrior, the seventh chosen one archetype. Warriors exist in every form. Parents who shield a sensitive child, citizens who fight for honest leadership, workers who challenge unfairness, caregivers who refuse to let people suffer alone. Some fights are epic and global. Some are humble and unseen, but no less significant. Signs you are a warrior. Asterisk, you feel an inner surge of courage when you witness unfairness, cruelty, or darkness in the world. Asterisk, protecting others, especially the vulnerable, comes as instinct more than choice. Asterisk, you speak out or take action, even when it means risking your comfort or reputation. Asterisk, you have little patience for excuses or denial. Integrity and justice truly matter to you. Asterisk, while you can be gentle and nurturing, there is a deep strength, sometimes even fierceness, inside you when you know the stakes are high. Asterisk, you may carry the scars of your battles, physical, emotional, or spiritual, but you also recognize these scars as badges of honor. The divine purpose. Warriors are not called to fight every fight, but to defend the light within themselves and others. Your presence keeps darkness at bay, ensures truth is not trampled, and reminds loved ones and entire communities that change is possible when good people step up. You are the reason others feel safe enough to hope and dream. Your brave, sometimes inconvenient honesty challenges the old order and inspires others to overcome fear and step out too. Your lineage includes ancestors who protected, built, and stood firm. Now their calling lives, quietly or boldly, in you. True warriors are also wise. They know when to hold the line and when to seek peace. The greatest ones lift others up, teaching the next generation by example. In your maturity, your courage transforms from impulsive reaction to conscious, compassionate action. Action steps for the warrior. Asterisk, choose your battles. Discern which fights are yours and which to surrender to protect your energy and prevent burnout. Asterisk, care for your wounds, body, mind, and spirit. Rest, seek support, and remind yourself that self-compassion is not weakness. Asterisk, mentor others. Your courage sparks new warriors, whether in your own family, your community, or your line of work. Asterisk, connect with your why. Writing a mission statement for your life, even privately, can give clarity and strength when times get tough. Asterisk, stand together. Seek communities of purpose, and remember, even warriors need allies. Asterisk, if you've stood up for justice, protected someone, or simply never given up, even when it was hard, type 999 in the comments. Our collective strength is greater than we know. Reflection. The warrior's road is often hard, occasionally lonely, but always needed. Your tears, your campaigns, your sleepless nights, they are not lost on the divine. You are the proof that kindness is strong, and that boldness can change the world. What battle did you fight that changed you most? Or what is one act of bravery you want to be remembered for? Share your warrior story. Your victories give hope to others still fighting. From the fire of the warrior, we move to a different kind of restorative strength, the healer. If you are called to mend what is broken, to nurture, teach, or guide others towards wholeness, body, mind, or spirit, this next path may echo your true purpose. Stay with me for the healer, the bridge to wholeness. 8. The healer, bridge to wholeness. Some people walk into a room and things just begin to feel lighter. Pain softens, confusion clears, hearts start to mend. If you've ever had the sense that you are drawn to people's suffering, not to fix it out of ego, but to companion them through it, there's a deep chance you're the healer, the 8th chosen one archetype. The healer's way is ancient. Every society has revered those who could mend the body, calm the heart, or illuminate the path through darkness. Midwives, herbalists, therapists, clergy, teachers, wise neighbors, and friends. Their medicine may be recipes, kind words, hands-on service, laughter, or wisdom carried through the ages. Healers are not immune to hurt. In fact, many walk through their own wounds to find their gift. They integrate pain into compassion, and from compassion, they build hope. Signs you are a healer. Asterisk, people turn to you for advice, support, listening, or comfort. Sometimes even strangers pour out their hearts to you. Asterisk, you are deeply sensitive to others' suffering, and you genuinely want to see everyone thrive. Asterisk, you might be drawn to health, nutrition, wellness, spirituality, or simply listening to those in pain. Asterisk, when you mend or help, you experience a sense of meaning, peace, or rightness. Asterisk, you understand that healing is ongoing, sometimes a journey of months, years, or generations. Asterisk, you have dealt with your share of pain and want to spare others what you have endured. The divine purpose. Healers are here to restore balance. Your purpose is to bridge what's been separated, mind from body, self from community, wound from wisdom, despair from possibility. In your hands, through your words, and by your presence, broken things become whole again. You may heal through the physical, medicine, nutrition, touch, movement. You may heal emotionally or spiritually, through listening, teaching, prayer, or simply by holding space for other stories. What matters is your clear intent, to see the spark in others and help it grow stronger. Sometimes healing is messy. Sometimes it is simply being willing to show up. You are not meant to fix the world alone, but every gesture, every encouragement, knits another thread into the tapestry of human wellness. Action steps for the healer. Asterisk, tend to your own well-being first. Learn healthy boundaries so you don't deplete yourself for others. Asterisk, explore various modalities, nutrition, fitness, prayer, energy work, or support groups. See which ones recharge both you and others. Asterisk, embrace the power of listening. Sometimes your healing isn't in your solution, but in your caring presence. Asterisk, ritualize self-care. Cleansing baths, nourishing meals, meditative walks, or restorative sleep. Asterisk, if you have played a role in someone's healing journey or found peace in nurturing yourself, type 000 in the comments. Let's honor all who build bridges back to wholeness in big and small ways. Reflection. The healer's journey is sacred, but it doesn't have to be solitary or perfect. Every family, every community, every workplace, every church or gathering needs someone who knows how to help others mend. Your legacy is not measured in how many you fix, but in how often you believed in someone's ability to be whole again. Who helped heal you? What wisdom, recipe, or ritual brought you back to health? Share it with us. Your story could be the medicine that another soul needs tonight. And now we approach the final archetype of our journey, the elder. If you feel drawn to guide, hold wisdom, or pass the torch to the next generation, you may already be fulfilling one of the most revered purposes humanity knows. Stay with me for the elder, the timeless beacon. 9. The elder, the timeless beacon. There is a fire that doesn't fade with age. Instead, it glows deeper, burnishing wisdom, offering warmth, light, and direction for all who come close. If you feel a sacred duty to guide, teach, preserve traditions, or simply to be a steady presence in the storms of life, you may be the elder, the 9th and most revered archetype of the chosen ones. Throughout all cultures, elders have been revered not just for survival, but for their dedication to something greater, the transmission of meaning. In your stories, hard-won truths, and compassionate presence, humanity glimpses its higher potential. You are the ones who know the cycles of seasons of love and loss, of faith and folly, and you are generous enough to light the path for those who follow. Signs you are an elder. Asterisk younger people, and even those your own age, are drawn to you for guidance, stories, perspective, or simply comfort. Asterisk you possess a quiet, deep wisdom not found in books, but earned through years of living, loving, grieving, and giving. Asterisk you feel a responsibility to pass down lessons, not in arrogance, but from a deep desire to spare others pain or inspire their best. Asterisk you see life as a series of patterns and lessons, and are able to connect the personal to the universal. Asterisk you seek to unify, reconcile, and nurture understanding, both within families and broader communities. Asterisk you may play the role of grandparent, teacher, mentor, faith leader, or simply be the go-to for friends in crisis. The divine purpose. Elders are the torchbearers of hope, tradition, and wisdom. You anchor families, friendships, and communities when the winds of change blow strong. You remind people who they are when they forget. Your listening, your laughter, your gentle reminders become the foundation of others' courage to face the unknown. The world often glorifies youth and overlooks this sacred role. But in truth, nothing new can flourish without strong roots. Elders ensure the legacy of love, learning, and spiritual understanding. In your later years, you discover your greatest purpose: to be the living bridge across generations. Action steps for the elder. Asterisk honor your wisdom. Trust that your stories, even the painful ones, hold keys that others need. Asterisk create opportunities to connect with younger people, share, guide, and invite their ideas too. Asterisk remain curious. Your willingness to keep learning is a beacon for all ages. Asterisk if you feel overlooked, remember, sometimes your impact is invisible but enduring. Speak up and step into your light. Asterisk write, record, or share your lessons, letters, stories, recipes, prayers. One day, these may be treasures for your family or community. Asterisk if you resonate with the elder's role. Whether in years, spirit, or simply in the wisdom you offer, type 1212 in the comments. Let our beacons recognize and encourage one another. Reflection. In the journey of life, elders walk at the front and the back, lighting the way forward while tending the memories behind. You are proof that our story does not end, but continues in every mind you touch and every heart you bless. Who has been the elder for you? A relative, mentor, teacher, or community member? What is the greatest lesson you wish to pass on, or the hope you hold for those who come after? Share it in the comments. Be a link in the chain of wisdom and belonging. Claim and embody your divine purpose. This moment is not the end of our exploration. It is a threshold. You have heard the callings of oracles, pathbreakers, truth-tellers, Infiltrators, wanderers, hermits, warriors, healers, and elders. Each archetype is a constellation. Some stars shining bright in you today, some perhaps waiting to rise as you move forward. Breathe. Settle into your body and heart. Allow the ancient, wise part of yourself to speak up now. Integration, recognizing your many selves. Maybe you found yourself clearly in one path. Maybe, like so many wise souls, you carry more than one. There is no single right role. Life guides us through seasons. The free spirit in your youth, the truth teller in adversity, the hermit in your healing, the elder in your wisdom years. Can you take a moment to honor all that you have been? All the silent battles, the brave beginnings, the necessary endings, the small acts of love witnessed only by the divine? Each of those moments was prophecy and preparation for what comes next. As we age, we are invited not to shrink, but to expand. To let the gifts and wounds of every chapter inform the richest, most authentic expression of our soul. Ritual of owning your calling. Right now, wherever you are, place one hand over your heart. Take a slow, deliberate breath. Let it fill your chest, your belly, your whole being. Whisper, aloud or inward, with total honesty, I honor my life. I honor my gifts. I am ready to claim my sacred calling now, in this season, and every day to come. If these words ring true, let this ritual echo through time and spirit. Type 1111 in the comments as a digital signature of your commitment. A vow not only to yourself, but to everyone who walks this road beside you. Know that every number is a kindling, a beacon, that by declaring your willingness, you create a ripple that may just light the path for another soul. What's next? Actionable steps for your spiritual awakening. Many spiritual awakenings fizzle because they're left in the realm of ideas. Instead, spiritual maturity arrives when insight turns into embodied, daily practice. 1. Begin a sacred journal. Write daily or weekly. Reflect not just on what you're learning, but on how you're feeling and, most importantly, what your intuition is whispering. Even confusion is a sacred entry. Document moments of courage and insight. Over time, you'll see a map of your own spiritual ascent. 2. Create your community. You are not alone. Even if your immediate world doesn't yet understand, thousands are awakening right now. Comment your archetype, connect with one or two other viewers. Support, listen, and nurture these connections. They are the foundation for your next chapter. 3. Share your gifts. Consider how your unique calling can serve others. A truth teller might start honest conversations in their family. A healer might offer care to a neighbor. A warrior might write to a local leader. An elder might gather family stories for the next generation. Purpose is nothing if not expressed. 4. Honor your cycles. Some seasons will be for public action, others for quiet reflection. Trust both. Hermits need their silence as much as warriors need their resolve. Oracles need their dreams just as elders need their dignity. It is okay to flow and change. 5. Create a legacy. What wisdom do you want to leave behind? Write a letter, record a message, cook a meal, plant a tree. Anything that outlasts you is holy. The next generation is listening, even when you cannot see them doing so. An invitation to sacred accountability. Imagine us, gathered around an ancient fire, each holding a lantern. Your story, your light matters. The comments section isn't just for algorithm's sake. It is our new campfire. If you feel inspired, tell us. Asterisk, which chosen one type are you? Asterisk, when did you first feel the stirrings of your calling? Asterisk, is there a lesson, hope, or blessing you want to pass to this community? And if you reached this moment, if you listened all the way through, letting every word nourish your soul, type 777777 in the comments. Let's see who among us is truly awakening, poised to step into the next great act of their spiritual life, continuing the path, your spiritual evolution. Remember, spiritual awakening is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong commitment to living aligned, honest, and compassionate. Subscribe and enable notifications. Join us for future explorations. We'll be diving deeper into each archetype, offering meditations, historical stories, practical exercises, and guidance for every stage of the journey. This community is for every age, every background, every story. Whether you are in the high noon of your life or the gentle dusk, you are alive for a purpose. Here, you are cherished, respected, and needed. A final blessing. May your path be protected, your gifts revealed, your wounds transformed, and your spirit set alight with meaning. May loneliness be replaced by companionship, confusion by clarity, hurt by healing, fear by hope, and hiding by the bold courage to live as a chosen one, whatever form that takes. Thank you for choosing not just this channel, but for choosing yourself and your sacred journey. The world is richer, safer, wiser, and more beautiful because you are walking among us. Peace, light, and boundless belonging to each and every one of you. Until we gather again, keep shining, keep seeking, keep awakening.